Hello students, we have already started the topic parts of the alimentary canal. So in the last class we have already studied about the first part of the alimentary canal, that is the mouth. So they have got different parts are there. So first part is mouth, second is esophagus, then we have stomach, and then small intestine, large intestine, and then we have anus. So these are different parts of the alimentary canal. As I have already told you what is alimentary canal, it is a long tubular structure starting from mouth ending at anus. So this is the alimentary canal. So today we are going to study the second part of the alimentary canal, that is the esophagus. Now esophagus is also called as food pipe. Now esophagus is a tubular structure, okay, and it connects mouth to the stomach. Okay, so the food we chew in the mouth, and then after chewing it we convert and break down into small pieces, and that food goes into the stomach. Okay, now so this is transported by a tubular structure called as esophagus. So esophagus transports food from mouth to the stomach. Now if we see the structure of the esophagus is a muscular structure made up of muscles. Which type of muscles are there? Smooth muscles are there. Now these smooth muscles, you know that they are involuntary in action, they cannot be controlled according to our will, so they are involuntary in action, and these muscles contract and relax. We know that the special quality of the muscle is to contract and relax. So the muscles contract and relax rhythmically. These muscles contract and relax rhythmically. And why they contract and relax rhythmically? So that the food can be pushed to the next part. So this contraction relaxation pushes the food forward. So it pushes the food pushes the food forward, okay, from one part to the next part, and this pushing is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. And this peristalsis is not only taking place in the esophagus, it takes place in all alimentary canal. Starting from the mouth to the anus. So it pushes. So alimentary canal in your book is referred to as gut. So it takes place all along the gut and pushes the food from one part to the next part. Now esophagus is also made up of muscles, and it pushes the food from mouth to the stomach. And within the esophagus, as you can see here, if I make the diagram of the esophagus, you can see here, this is the food is there, and this food is pushed down, and then this food is pushed down and it reaches the stomach, and this pushing is because of the peristalsis. Okay, now the food reaches the stomach, and then one more thing you want, you can write it there. The inner wall of this uh, esophagus, the inner lining of the esophagus is lined by mucus. So mucus lines the inner lining of the esophagus, which makes it which reduces the friction. As we know that friction is there whenever there is a movement, so to reduce the friction, a slimy coat of mucus is there. It is a slimy substance which is covering the inner lining of the alimentary canal. All over the alimentary canal it is there. It is present in our respiratory system also. Now let us move to the next part of the alimentary canal, that is the stomach. Okay, so the stomach is the third part of the alimentary canal. Now this is the esophagus, and this is the stomach. So as you can see here, this part is the stomach. Okay, now here when the esophagus ends in the stomach, here you can see there is a valve is there, which, and here also at the opening as well as at the exit of the esophagus, the valves are present. Okay, so I will write it properly. Valve is there, as well as the valve is present here also. So these two valves are there which regulate the opening and closing of the stomach. Okay, and these valves, what they do, they allow the food to move only in one direction, so they prevent backflow of food. So wherever the valves are there, they always prevent the backflow. Wherever the, so you just remember this important point, that valves prevent backflow. Now here in the digestive system, they prevent the backflow of food wherever the valves are there in our body. Now as we see in the transportation, we are going to study the circulatory system. There also we are going to see the valves, so they prevent the backflow of blood. Now here, now stomach, let us talk about stomach. Stomach is a muscular organ. Okay, and it is made up of thick and strong muscles. Now why muscles are thick and strong? So that they can now whenever we eat the food, sometimes we eat the food in a hurry, so we don't chew it properly, so the size of the particle size of the food is bigger, and if the size is bigger, then it cannot be digested properly. So whenever the food comes in the stomach, the muscles, they contract and relax, and they change the food into fine paste. Okay, so a paste is formed, and to form a paste they need to be grinded up, and this is done by the strong muscles. So the muscles of the stomach, they change the food into a fine paste so that it get mixed up with the digestive enzyme present in the stomach. Okay, now let us talk about the digestive enzyme present in the stomach. Now the enzymes in the stomach is released by the gastric gland. Now gastric glands are not a separate gland, it is present in the wall of the stomach. So some cells of the stomach gets modified and they function as gland. They secrete the digestive juice. So they are called as gastric gland. What they release? They release gastric juice. Okay. Now what are the things present in the gastric juice? Let us try to understand. Gastric juice is a digestive juice present, and this gastric juice is doing what? Gastric juice contains, number one, it contains HCl, hydrochloric acid, and that is also concentrated hydrochloric acid. Concentrated hydrochloric acid. Okay, and then we have number two, we have pepsin. What is pepsin? It is a protein digesting enzyme. And then we have number three, mucus. Now as I have already told you, mucus is present in all the parts of the alimentary canal. It is present here also, but mucus is present here with more amount, a thick coat of mucus is present. Okay, a thick layer of mucus is present. Okay, now let us see here what are the roles of all these three things. Now when we talk about HCl, now as we know that it is an acid, so what it does, it kills the germs, whatever germs are there in our food, so it will be killed by the. Okay, number two, it activates pepsin. Now pepsin, when it is released, it is in an inactive form. It is activated by the hydrochloric acid. Okay, and number three, it also helps in digestion. Helps in digestion. How does it help in digestion? By changing the medium to acidic. Now why it is medium is important? Because the enzymes are medium sensitive. Some enzymes work in acidic medium, some enzymes work in basic medium. So the pepsin works in the acidic medium. So the pepsin is activated by the HCl only when the medium is changed. Okay, now let us talk about pepsin. As I have already told you, pepsin pepsin is a protein digesting enzyme. So it converts complex proteins into simpler proteins. So complex proteins are broken down by the simpler proteins, and they will be further digested by the intestinal juice as well as the pancreatic juice. Number three is mucus. As I have already told you, mucus is present here in the wall of the stomach, and it covers the wall of the stomach. And what is the function of, basically, now as we know that acid is there in the gastric juice, so this acid will burn the cells of the stomach. So to protect the inner cells of the stomach, a thick layer of mucus is there. So it protects the wall of stomach. It protects the wall of stomach from hydrochloric acid. So a thick layer of mucus is present. Now the next part we are going to study in the next class. So I hope that you are making and preparing the notes, and I will be giving some question answers also. So you should be prepared for that. Thank you, students.